How you lot doing? Well, I'm proud to say I'm still in Vietnam and I haven't visited any more detention centres as yet, which is always a bonus. And also I wanted to say thank you to all the people that have liked and subscribed onto the channel. It's not massive numbers, I'm not into this for that anyway. I'm just filming my travels as I go around and see what happens. But before we move on from Da Nang, I really wanted to tell a story about something that happened to me in 2010. There's a lot of media hype around it at the moment, but it's my UFO encounter that happened. I can't work out whether it's the first, second, third or fourth kind, but if you've had an experience like this, let me know in the comments as well. So I'll paint the picture. In 2010, I was in East Anglia, in the Ipswich kind of area. In fact, I wasn't far from a place called Rendlesham Forest, which is a very famous UFO encounter happened there. I think it was back in the 80s, involving a triangular craft and officers from an army base who actually recorded the audio of them seeing this craft landing in Rendlesham Forest. Anyway, cut forward many years back over to 2010. I'm not far from that area, and if you can imagine, I'm walking in the evening. I'm going for a walk round like a massive grass field. It's around 400 meters kind of round this particular field, so that'll give you an idea of the distance of the walk we're doing as we're walking around this thing, me and two other people. Now, I suppose you can say to the west side of this 400 meter track, the sun was setting on the horizon. And so as we're walking around and the sun's going down on the horizon, we get to the west side of the track that we're walking on, and I look over and I see the dying sort of embers of the sun, so to speak. But just on the horizon where the sun's going down, I notice this brilliant pin of white light, like just very faint in the distance, but a very bright, brilliant white light. And I thought to myself, that's quite strange. But I didn't think much more of it. At this particular time, I hadn't really been sold on unidentified flying objects, aliens. It was always in my mind, but I was never 100% like, yeah, this is something's here. But anyway, and also I want to mention that, as I mentioned before, we weren't far from Rendlesham Forest, and anyone that knows that area, there's an air base there. So I was very familiar with the sounds of helicopters taking off, fighter jets landing, etc. So I understand the sounds in the air from machinery. Anyway, let's go back to the story. So we walk around the track again, and we get to the west side of the 400 meter track we've walked around. And I look over again because I'm interested in this particular light, and it is getting bigger on the horizon. It's gradually getting bigger, which means it's coming in. It's coming in from the horizon, basically. I stopped and said to the two people I was with, look at that light. Does that light not seem strange to you? And they both kind of shrugged it off. So we walked around the track again, 400 meter track. If you can imagine that doing a walk, it takes a bit of time to walk around, especially when you're dawdling. So we walked around anyway. We got to the west side of the track again, and now the sun has completely almost gone down. It's pretty much gone down. There's not much of it left. You can just see the shadows of light, if that makes sense. But at this point now, this brilliant white light is pretty big on the horizon, so it's coming in, and it's coming in around, it's got to be between 50 and 100 miles an hour, at least 50 miles an hour, I would say. So we all stop on the west side of this track, and we watch this light come in, and when it comes, probably as the light completely dies, this brilliant white light turns from a brilliant white, like a pin of light. It's hard to explain. It's like a really sharp spotlight, but not giving off a glare, if that makes any sense. It's just shining. It could have been the sun hitting it, to be fair. But so the sun completely goes down. As it completely goes dark, this pin of white light turns red, like a red dull glow. I'll tell you what I thought at the time. Exactly what I thought was that looks like a space hopper with a light in it. If you can imagine like an LED light, a guide light, yeah, not a light that's giving off light, but just a guide light, like a dull light. So it went from a brilliant white. As it came in and we got a little bit more perspective on it, it turned into like a ball. There was like a globe of red, like a space hopper with a fucking light in it. That's the only thing I thought of at the time. It was so dark now, and the light was so dull that you couldn't really get like a clear grip on what the shape of it particularly was. But it was coming in. It was coming in above us, literally right above us. Now I'm talking like, anyway. So we stood there and we watched this light come in, and it flew in above our heads, and it must have been, I mean, it's difficult to get perspective, but there was a building next to us, and it was about 10 times the height of that building, I would say. So it's got to be near 50 to 70 foot above our heads. As it's come above our heads, I've gone, what the fuck is that? And I've pointed at it. When I've pointed at it, it stopped above our heads for about 2 seconds and shot off into the sky, like directly up. It just went like that. I looked in the sky. I think we all were, but I was so taken aback with what happened. I was looking in the sky to see if I could see this red light, and just by chance, I looked up, and it almost seemed like it was amongst the stars, this particular little red light that was there for a fleeting second, and then it just died out and disappeared amongst the stars in some particular way. Now, there was no sound to the craft at all. Like I mentioned, I know all the sounds that were going on around that particular area. We didn't see any people inside the craft. It definitely changed colour, but when I look in perspective, that could have been the sun that was reflecting off of whatever material that was made of. And it 100% flew up in like it's hard to explain. It's like, have you seen them CGI videos where the light just goes like that? It as it went up, it died out. The red sort of dull light. It didn't go off straight away. It just kind of like the red light just kind of dissipated as it went off, and it just went. But then I saw it in the sky as well, so I don't know. I can't say what happened there. The two people I was with later on went to deny it when we spoke in groups. When we spoke in a group about it, the two people kind of denied it, which I was a little bit disappointed with, because afterwards I spoke to them in confidence about it, and they were fucking completely confused with what they saw. They couldn't make head nor tail of it. But I know that 100% I saw that particular day. So when I see things that happen today, and you see a lot of videos, it's really difficult to work out whether what's real or what isn't real. I get that completely, and I can only ever reference my own experience with it. Is it an alien craft? Possibly. I don't know. It could be human technology or something like that. I really don't know. But what I do know is that I witnessed something that was completely out of this world. It sent me on a rabbit hole down YouTube, and really what it done was it actually opened my mind to more possibilities. After seeing what I saw, my mind wasn't so closed. It was like opening your mind. Yeah, it was like a mind opener. And since then, my mind's been completely different. I'm not saying I believe in the tooth fairy and all that sort of business, but when it comes to things that are out of this world or extraordinary things, then yeah, I don't think we can have a closed mind on it. Anyway, listen, I don't want to ramble on. We are going to crack onto an adventure somewhere, but if you've had an experience like that, tell me about it in the comments. Please let me know that I'm not mad. I know that other people have had experiences. The one that happened to me happened near Rendlesham Forest, which to me, kind of, if you know that story, made it even more crazy in my mind when I think about it. So that's all for now, my friends. Let me know in the comments if you've had an experience like that. But until next time, keep navigating.